Stand. Ho! 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 By the power of Elohim of God, shatter all evil and evil intent within this planetary home. Bind the cause and core of the fallen angels. Bind and remove from this planet 7 archangels. 7 archangels, we call you forth to remove from this planet the fallen angels and those who move against the sons and daughters of God. Archangel Michael, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Uziel. Come forth, legions of light. We command you in the name Jesus Christ. In the name Jesus Christ. In the name Jesus Christ. Padma Sambhava. Lord Maitreya Gautama Buddha Sanat Kumara. Bind them and remove them from this planet, all whose time is up. We call for this judgment upon the fallen ones, that Earth and her evolutions might be spared the plotting that they have plotted of their holocaust of world destruction. Almighty God, hear our calls during this mighty convocation, a world convocation of spiritual seekers. Come forth now, O hosts of the Lord, deliver us in this age. Let violet flame descend. Let violet flame come forth from the heart of the violet planet. Let our hearts and souls and chakras be filled with a violet flame. Be filled with a violet flame, O God. Sheets of white fire, blue lightning descend. Sheets of white fire, blue lightning descend. Sheets of white fire and 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 blue lightning descend. O thou divine mother, let thy love balance the darkness in the earth. Rock in the cradle of your heart all those who seek your succoring. O divine mother, reach out to all. Raise us by the sacred fire from the base of the spine to the crown. O living light of the Word of God, it is thy light that sustains us. Therefore we are grateful. Therefore we bow before the Lord God Almighty, and we do give thanks that midst the darkness there is the piercing light, and its crescendo, gathering light, and more light. Beloved ones, I greet you in the name of my twin flame. I greet you, beloved, for I have been, down the centuries, one who has been in the Far East. I have been Russian by birth. I have come to these shores, and many of you know well of what I have attempted to do for the world. I have indeed championed the cause of peace in many ways, but I must tell you, beloved, we must recruit many souls for the restoration of youth, and youth are the foundation of the decades and centuries to come. Therefore, beloved, I ask you and I implore you to seek to care for students, to counsel, to advise, to give comfort, to give love, to teach them what they are not learning in their schools, and to help them enter universities of higher learning. I would speak then to all youth of the world. I would speak especially of those between the ages of 10 and 21. I say to you, beloved, these years of your life are years when you may squander a great deal of energy in what the scriptures call riotous living. As you read the magazines, as you see what is happening in the colleges and universities and high schools of the nation, you come to realize that the imbibing of beer, alcohol, drugs of every kind, stronger and stronger drugs that are killing the youth of the generation. So, beloved, look at this and say to yourself, I am in the prime of my youth. My sacred fire is with me in my chakras. I have a mission and a calling. I will not make thus such and such karma, and therefore take many years to pay the debts of my irresponsibility in youth. You know that children even below the age of 10 are finding cigarettes, are finding drugs, are not being cared for by their parents who work or have single-parent homes. Blessed ones, you cannot build a nation of children who are not with their mothers and fathers, at least a good deal of the time, where they have that sense of inner and outer confidence, of independence, a sense of self-worth, a sense of reinforcement, a sense of taking the child where he must go. Parents, do not fear to discipline your children, for they will thank you many times over when they are past the years of so-called riotous living. They will thank you because they will not have squandered the light and lifeblood of their beings. So many young people today in the United States are losing the way. The institutions of learning do not support them. They have not learned how to read and write, whether in kindergarten, grammar school, junior high, senior high, and by the time they go to college, they still cannot spell and can hardly read and write. It is a deplorable condition. Do you think that it just happened? Well, I tell you, it did not just happen. It has been a plot of the forces since the turn of the century and before to select those of elite parents, to make them elitists, and therefore to allow them to rule other children who would receive a scrambled education and therefore could not compete. This plot has gone on by the Luciferians and fallen angels in embodiment for more than 100 years and in every nation. Yet America is the subject of the attack, for these fallen ones would destroy America and save it only for the Nephilim and their offspring, those who have no light. Blessed ones, you must see the plight of the schools, the classrooms, the deplorable conditions, and the fact, beloved, that abortion enters here for the very reason that if you do not have a proper curriculum and proper teachers, even if everything else around you is crumbling, if you do not have that element, then society will break down. So, precious ones, this is a cry from my heart. Do you know that all of us weep from time to time, whether ascended masters or angels? Yes, we weep, beloved. On the one hand, we would turn back the clock and be an embodiment. On the other hand, we always know that we can do more for you from the ascended state. Things are going down very, very fast, beloved. Be grateful that you can place your children in private schools here in Montana or where you reside. The future of civilization depends on what you, the adults, do, how much you are willing to challenge, how much you are willing to demonstrate in the streets, how much you are willing to make the difference. I point out one thing to you, that for Saint Germain, when he calls upon you and gives you a labor, gives you an assignment, and you go after it and you accomplish it, you always win. You always win, you always succeed when you make up your mind that you have to devote the time, you have to devote your hearts and energy, you have to put many things aside for the saving of civilization itself. Hear the message of responsibility. You may hear it again and again, beloved. You know your self-worth. You know what you have in this science and this teaching. Understand, there are very few like you on the face of the earth. The teachings must be spread abroad. They must be translated. But your focus must always be to the youth. Therefore I say, what you have here is something that is rare on the face of the earth, yet many have started preschools and been successful and done well and seen to it that children have accelerated and gone beyond their peers. You have seen this not only in this church, but in many areas. But it is not enough. It is not enough. Too many of these children cannot understand what teachers are trying to teach them, but still do not seem to know how to teach children. So, beloved, the messenger has seen this in South America, how the state of education in some countries goes down and down, how many children will never have an education at all because they are a part of the homeless. And in some countries, the homeless are as high as 60% of the population of that country. So you see, beloved, generations and generations of children with no education, no literacy. The messenger has spoken about this in her lectures from Saint Germain in South America. This is the situation, beloved, as generations of children are disenfranchised, have no vote, no place to call their own, no station in life, have no sense of worthiness. Then what do they turn to? They will turn to war. They will turn to revolution. They will turn to upheaval of entire societies. For these children will outnumber those who are of the middle class and the wealthy. And so they do this day. And so as their parents do also, who have no education and had none before them. This is a vicious cycle. Where will it end? I tell you where it will end. It will end when you decide to become a saint, not in heaven but on earth, because you have said, my heart goes out. I must put all else aside. I must give my decrees, make my calls, help run the centers, and the very first priority thereafter are the children. even the children that are unborn in the womb, even the children that are long before aborted. The children are our concern. The children, beloved. Have you cut the tie to your own inner child? Do you not feel your soul when your soul is happy or your soul is down? You have a child within you. Do you neglect the child? Is that why society neglects her children? Neglects her children, beloved, because people are numb to children, especially those who have committed abortions. It goes round and round. What will happen to the planet? These are the holy innocents, and God shall bring the judgment. Therefore, beloved, take the opportunity to teach the children, even your neighbor's children next door, whatever children, but make some time of intimacy with a child, whether a relative or not, to be together, to learn the Bible, to learn the language of their mother tongue, to bring them into that sense, why I am a person, I have rights, I can vote, I can make the difference, I will find my way through school. I will get there. I will be the exception. These driving spirits are indeed the exception. Most children need more help than simply being left somewhere to make it on their own. Care for the children, beloved. Care for the children, because you too may wind up with a karma of neglect of the children. May you go forth then and teach them. Children are loving, they are grateful. They will thank you forever. Thousands of years from now, the children whom you have taught will meet you on the high road of the heaven world, and they will stop and say, "Thank you for helping me on that day. You allowed me to become who I am, to learn, to make something of myself, to have a sense of dignity, and to contribute to society what you and God have given to me." Let us ponder these things, beloved. America is a people of great dedication and hard work, but they also waste time in much recreation that is unnecessary, in much going here and there. You are too insulated, beloved, much too insulated. Children cry out to you, but you are watching the TV set, you are going to movies, you are having parties. You have done it for centuries. It has been a European pastime for centuries. If this is the day, the hour, and the life of your ascension, then rescue life. Rescue life, I beg of you. For if you do not, this world may become a barren and a bleak place, and it will not be able to be turned around after a certain point, even as the elements of the earth that are misused or that are unbalanced due to the conditions of abortion may also not be returned to their lush state. Anything can happen on the earth, beloved, but I ask you for this one focus apart from education to go after the aliens and fallen angels and their spacecraft, and to do so fully armored with Archangel Michael's sword and much decreeing beforehand. We must purge the earth of the fallen angels and get on with the salvation of the sons and daughters of God. I am Nicholas Roerich, your mentor of the Spirit. Call to me. I await your calls. I will answer them as swiftly as Lanello answers your calls. us rejoice in the music of Finlandia that has the tremendous surge of energy for freedom. Please give your fiats.